We'll go through them real quick. Um, let's make it super clear. To be a witch, you don't have to be a Wiccan, a pagan, or anything at all. A witch is a person of any gender or belief who lives by her own internal validation and creative inspiration rather than seeking approval from the powers that be. So they didn't like, I really think they didn't like the free thinking women back then. Okay, I'm a hybrid, so there you go. Lori might, yeah, she might. I'm a hybrid. So, yeah, she might be. I don't know. No, she can't be a vampire. She likes to sleep at night. Um, so pay attention to the omens because you might be a witch. Well, I know I'm not a witch, I'm something else, but that's okay. Um, there were hangings and all kinds of stuff going on. Anyway, back then people were accused of being a witch, of course. It is associated with images of an old woman with warts and a large nose who's into evil or scaring children, okay? In The Wizard of Oz or other mythology, the witch was either good or bad, but never both. And both these images and stereotypes are outdated. Of course they are. The new version of the witch is much different. Or he, could be a he, who knows. Works for the light and the dark and goes between being a loving mother and a wild lover. She has the beauty and power of the seductress and the brains of wisdom of the crone, and knows when to use witch. She is both the earthly warrior goddess and the mysterious cosmic communicator. So there you go. So I think we all associate witches. I thought I was describing myself, but that's okay. You can go with it, Lori. No, I don't think they did like the freaks. After careful reflection, I think I'm part witch. A witch is a woman who is awake and aware of her soul, body, and darkness. She knows the deepest part of herself. I like the spell casting myself. Another sign, believing in magic, wearing lots of black and gray. Black is an ancient symbol of the mysterious feminine, and gray is esoteric. Okay, linked to wisdom. Interest in healing, including astrology, herbalism, energy, crystals, that type of thing. Following and communing with cycles of the moon and seasons. Bonus points for results with the moon cycles. Magic. Gathering in community. Witches gather together to create and cast spells. Some like to do it nude, but some people don't. That's okay. And it doesn't hurt if you own a cat or two. I don't want to know about the circle bit, Lori. You keep that to yourself, okay? Cats were believed to be protectors from evil spirits, so witches needed them nearby. So there you go. That's kind of things that you could be a witch. You got warts? I don't know. I bet you are. I mean, what do you think a witch is? What do you think a witch is? They're all different kinds, and witchcraft conditions can vary from place to place and person to person. So, yeah, here's signs you may be a witch. You dislike crowds. Yes, they call them familiars, but they are mostly kept around. They're not associated with evil. They're protectors from evil. They're not used for evil, okay? That's the difference. I think that's just a myth that, about witches and cats. They don't really know. You dislike crowds. You always have been able to rely on your intuition. Death fascinates you. Well, I don't know about that. You're a sponge for knowledge. You feel energy, whether it's yours or your own or somebody else's. You've been attracted to the dark arts. Yes, there's just literally thousands of them. Perhaps tarot, astrology, spell work, or healing. When you're in nature, walking in the woods or something, you feel that's where you belong. Hi, Ike. How are you? So I think it's a myth about about cats, especially black cats, that are used for evil. They're actually the protectors from evil. You're quirky, interesting, unusual people. You like that type of people. You like to wear black. But seriously, witches can wear any color. It's just your preference. Black and red stripy tights are a must. Seriously, no. Silver is a soft and gleamy where gold is brash. So silver whispers, gold shouts. So there you go. And you're always collecting things. You're always collecting things, weird things, pebbles, shells, strange sticks, bird feathers, bones, coins, anything. And you can keep it forever if you want. Yeah. And you're very observant. You take notice. You're always using all of your senses. You respect boundaries. You know when a person needs a hug or when they prefer to be alone. Storms and rain and thunderstorms and everything fascinates you. You love to get out there and be part of it. And the moon is very important in a spiritual way, but you're not quite sure why. You feel connected to the elements, fire, water, earth, and air. So, are you a witch? Are you a witch? Do you think? What do you think? Are you a witch, Valerie? Are you guys witches? And of course, there's plenty of witch symbols that, have to do with witchcraft, Wiccan symbols, occult signs and symbols. There's just so many. So, are you a witch? Yes, could be. You may find out Halloween night. I don't know. So, yes, could be. Okay. You're a witch, Chris. Don't they call them warlocks, or is that not the case, Valerie? Yes, no? Okay. I have actually studied witchery. Really? Fascinating, Valerie. It's a pretty broad witchcraft or witchery or being a witch. It's a pretty broad statement. It means the practice of and belief in magical skills and abilities, plus all the things we just mentioned. So, but witches have been around forever. Okay, here's some myths. You don't hear too much about warlocks. Yeah, that's what I thought. They just call them. They're all witches. That's what I thought too. Of course, the witch hangings. And back in the way back, like during the Egyptian times and Greeks and Romans, it shows anyone who is blessed by the gods and goddesses. There you go. That works, Lori. That works. People, that they considered witches in Massachusetts were actually revered rather than reviled. Their powers were believed to be shape-shifting, visions, the ability to create potions and elixirs that had the ability. Yeah, I think they used to call them warlocks, witches and warlocks. Men were warlocks, but I think that's kind of now it's more gender-friendly witches. Is that the right term, gender-friendly? Okay, so back in like the Romans and Greeks and ancient Egyptians, they revered women like that. They believed them to be blessed by the gods and goddesses, and they were believed to be able to change their shape, physical appearance, and emotional outcomes. It was believed that the ones who were blessed with these gifts could use them for positive or negative. So anyone who supposedly had these powers were very respected. I don't follow that stuff. Yeah, okay. Yes, we know. You're definitely on your own there. Yeah, yeah. Well, they were supposed to be evil, but it's just like witches. Oh my God, the broomsticks and stuff. I have one, but we won't get into that. Anyway, and of course you have Homer's Odyssey. Okay, the sea nymph and all that good stuff. So, where did the term witch even come from? There was an Old English witchy, which meant sorcerer. And looking into, of course, over the years, Welk, weed, to see, to know, and and that have supernatural connotations, believed to have been translated into the Old English, and then witch came about. So it kind of came from several words, and which developed out of that. In layman terms, however, a witch is a person who practices witchcraft. Ta-da. A combination of ancient beliefs of the Egyptian gods and goddesses, as well as collections around the world of old practices. The religion of the earth was the most ancient of all, and where all future religions would be born from. So there you go. Cute, Valerie. Boo. Of course, all witches are different. Some myths about witches are being evil, and in some cases, not even human. So, in the beginnings, many of the people were unwilling to simply walk away from the ancient beliefs they had known for generations. The blanket term that they used of pagan, it means country dweller, actually. Did you know that? Pagan actually means country dweller. It was coined to describe anyone who did not subscribe to acknowledging only one God. So it was a religious thing too. So, and of course, this included people believed to be witches. Tales began to be told of these creatures of Satan, usually female, who would make pacts with the devil to live a life of sorcery and magic in service to him. As time went on, even more mythologies were mixed in to justify the fear of witches. The image of the fearsome creature. That was largely inspired by Eastern European legends of Baba Yaga, or also known as Bony Legs. It was usually portrayed as a gruesome hag of a woman who lived in a small hut supported by chicken legs. So there you go. By most accounts, though, she is a force to be reckoned with, and the image of the crooked-shaped old woman on a broomstick was what they call a misinterpretation of those practicing ritual magic, and continuing the tradition of night traveling. And of course, this practice has roots in many nationalities. Who do you deal with? There was certainly no evil connotation to it, and they were not doing the devil's work. That myth was encouraged by the early leaders of Christianity, of course. And, of course, you have Llewellyn's Book of Witchcraft. Mine does. I drive a stick. Of all the wrongs done in the name of God, the mass hysteria of the evils of witches that took place, that was the worst. It was an effort to sway public opinion to support the church in all ways. And of course, the myths of the witches being evil and satanic were fostered by the leaders. So there you go. And there's a book called, if you want to look it up, it's called Hammer of the Witches. Malleus